Global agriculture is a story of small farms. 500 million of small-scale farms around the globe are expected to deliver on food security and inclusive economic growth. The expectations don't stop there. Small farms are expected to supply modern value chains, certified products, carbon markets, and other markets for ecosystem services against a backdrop of resource squeeze. The widely advocated strategy for small-scale producers to respond to these challenges is to connect them to modern markets. But how do these expectations stack up against the reality of small-scale farming?
Los precios están bajísimos. Entonces nosotros estamos buscando alternativas. ¿Qué otro producto?
El Estado dice no, tiene que pagar impuestos.
Un pequeño productor puede ponerle un plus a su precio, puede ponerle un sobreprecio, si puede manejar esas regulaciones.
La materia prima orgánico sale sin valor agregado a otros países.
No teníamos una base cómo producir de buena calidad la planta.
No sabíamos lo que era una organización o un fondo de ahorro.
Este es un reto.
How can small-scale farmers deliver on those huge expectations in the face of modernization and globalization? To help challenge our mindsets, a global knowledge program and associated learning network of producer leaders, researchers, private sector, and civil society was established in 2009 as a collaboration between IVOS, IIED, and Bolivia-based Minumbi.
Yeah, see, as IVOS, our main work is to work with farmers on the ground, largely with the practitioners. And we wanted to understand what these changes mean for farmers on the ground.
What are the key messages that have come out of the work of the network? Key message 1. We need to understand where the majority of small-scale farmers, including the new generation, are, rather than where we want them to be. Key message 2. Value chains and inclusive business have a lot of promise for the 10% top of small-scale producers' pyramid, those with better assets. But what about the 80 to 90% of small-scale farmers who are not formally organized?
And I think that should change if you want to really work for the poor. The poorest are generally the farmers that are not organized, the smallholder farmers not organized. Those are really the poor. The organized farmers are less poor, still poor, but less poor in general.
Key message 3. Small-scale farmers are active actors, managing a wide portfolio of economic activities between formal and informal markets and urban and rural spaces, despite their limited assets.
Development programs need to stop viewing the small producers as their beneficiaries. They need to look at them as very active economic agents who make their own decisions and make up their own strategies, even under the very varying and changing circumstances of agri-food systems and rural economy.
Key message 4. Agency is more likely to be channeled toward trading outside of formal economic and political institutions. Thus, smallholder agency and informality are closely interrelated. Key message 5. Policy, business, and development programs focusing only on small-scale farmers' capacities to cooperate to compete and supply modern markets miss this understanding of how the poor make markets work for them.
How should markets be regulated? Who should be included? Who should be excluded? And what are the very real consequences of strengthening state institutions which can both support grassroots-led development but can also undermine grassroots-led development?
To get the future right for the smallholders, we must change our mindsets and ask the right questions. Instead of thinking about how to make markets work for the poor, we must look at how the poor make markets work for them.